video, we're going to learn about when to use que versus lo que. Now, this can be a little bit tricky in Spanish because the problem is that sometimes the word what can simply be que, and other times the sound can be lo que. For example, we can have, what do you want? ¿Qué quieres? Here you can clearly see that the word what is being represented by the sound of que. However, if we take another phrase, I know what you did. Now we have the word what, but this time the sound is lo que. Sé lo que hiciste. So what I'm going to do is give you some very solid guidelines to follow, and in fact these are the same guidelines that I use in my own Spanish. The key is that you will use the sound of lo que whenever you get a feeling of the thing that, meaning that this phrase, the thing or the thing that, is something that's being implied by the word what. For example, I like what you're doing. Now what we'll do is scrub out the word what and replace it with the thing that. I like the thing that you're doing. You can see how the word what carries this feeling about it. Now whenever you get this feeling of the thing that, it's a strong signal that in Spanish you're going to use the sound of lo que. So we have me gusta lo que estás haciendo. I like the thing that you're doing. Another example could be I know what you did. Again, this what carries the feeling of the thing that. In other words, I know the thing that you did. So the answer would be sé lo que hiciste. He told me what you bought. So instead of what, we will replace it with the thing that. He told me the thing that you bought. Again, it's not literally, or it doesn't sound perfectly correct in English, but the key is that the what carries this feeling about it, and that's your signal. So we have me dijo lo que compraste, the thing that you bought. What about this one? This is what we need. So instead of what, we could imply this is the thing that we need. Esto es lo que necesitamos. One more. How would you say, I can't decide what I want? No puedo decidir lo que quiero. So I can't decide the thing that I want. So again, whenever the word what is implying this feeling of the thing or the thing that, that's your signal to use the sound of lo que. There's a rule that's commonly heard on this topic of lo que. And that rule is, whenever the word what comes in the middle of a sentence, you will use lo que. Now, while this is true to a large extent, it's also a little crude and a little oversimplified. Because over time, following this rule will let you down. It will fail you. And I'm going to prove it to you now. Look at this sentence. What I need is more money. And in Spanish, this would be translated as lo que necesito es más dinero. You can see that the word what is not in the middle of the sentence. It's right up the front. Yet in Spanish, we are using the sound of lo que. So the rule here has failed you. This is why it's better to look at it with the guidelines that I'm giving you. Because here, the word what is carrying again that feeling of the thing that I need is more money. Now, there's your signal for using lo que necesito es más dinero. Here's another example for you. What I said to him this morning was, so again, what is not in the middle of the sentence, but Spanish will use lo que le dije esta mañana fue. The thing that I said to him this morning was. Let's try one more. What you don't know is that he's already here. How would you say that? Lo que no sabes es que ya está aquí. So again, here the word what is carrying the feeling of the thing that you don't know is that he's already here. So, lo que no sabes es que ya está aquí. So following the rule about what equaling lo que when it's in the middle of the sentence is okay-ish. It'll work a lot of the time, but it will also fail you as you've seen. So it's better to follow the guideline that I'm giving you here. Let's practice a little bit more. I'm going to let you try these on your own. How would you say, this is not what I want? Esto no es lo que quiero. I'm not going to do what you tell me. No voy a hacer lo que me dices. What I want is more respect. Lo que quiero es más respeto. He's going to decide what he wants later. Va a decidir lo que quiere más tarde. He's going to decide the thing that he wants later. That isn't what I asked you. Eso no es lo que te pregunté. That isn't the thing that I asked you. It's what she wants. Es lo que quiere. It's not what I wanted to say. No es lo que quería decir. It's not the thing that I wanted to say. Now let's look at when this doesn't apply, meaning that the word what doesn't have that same feel about it. So you could have a phrase, what a shame, which would be qué lástima. The word what is not carrying that feeling because you're saying the thing that, a shame. You see, it just doesn't work. It doesn't have that feeling about it. So Spanish went with qué lástima. What a surprise. This would be qué sorpresa. Again, the word what doesn't carry this feeling of the thing that, a surprise. Another exception is when you're going to be following this with infinitives, meaning the full verbs. So you could have, I don't know what to say. Now here at the end, you can see that this is the full verb, to say, so decir. This is a signal where you will not use the sound of lo que. So it would simply be no sé qué decir. I don't know what to say. Whenever you have this infinitive, this full verb at the end, you will not use the sound of lo que before it. Try it yourself. How would you say, it's okay, we know what to do? Está bien, sabemos qué hacer. Another exception you'll also find, or that you'll also have to be careful with, is when it comes to questions starting with the word what. So for example, what was it? Here again, the word what doesn't carry that feeling of the thing that was it. Just doesn't make any sense in any way at all, doesn't have that feeling. So you could have either ¿qué era or ¿qué fue? What was it? Another one might be, what are we going to do? So here we have a question beginning with the word what and saying the thing that are we going to do. Again, doesn't carry that feeling. So we have ¿qué vamos a hacer? Also this one, what can I do to help you? This would be ¿qué puedo hacer para ayudarte? If we take the word what here and we try to layer over this, the thing that can I do to help you, again, just doesn't work. So when you get this feeling of it not working, stick with ¿qué? ¿Qué puedo hacer para ayudarte? Let's take two example phrases side by side now. I know what to say versus I know what I want to say. Now here, this one is easy because you can see the full verb to say. So you know it's going to be que, sé qué decir. Whereas this one, we get the feeling of I know the thing that I want to say. So we could have sé lo que quiero decir. This is the distinction that you'll have to learn to make. Something else that is very useful is the phrase of everything that or all that. Whenever you see these things in English, you're going to use the phrase todo lo que. For example, all I can do is try. This would be todo lo que puedo hacer es intentar. So all that or everything that. Todo lo que. Try this next one on your own. Everything that you want is there. Todo lo que quieres está allí. They did everything you wanted. Hicieron todo lo que querías. One more. We did everything we could. Hicimos todo lo que pudimos. So we did everything we could. We did all that we could. This is the key, the signal that you will use todo lo que. So hicimos todo lo que pudimos. To finish off, we'll run a short drill now of 26 phrases. Most of them will use the sound of lo que, but probably 25% of them will not. And this tends to be representative of how you will use que versus lo que in Spanish when it comes to translating the word what. So just be careful and think them out. Let's try the first one. Did you see what happened? ¿Viste lo que pasó? This is all I want. Esto es todo lo que quiero. What we do isn't a secret. Lo que hacemos no es un secreto. I don't believe what they're saying. No creo lo que están diciendo. This is what you're going to learn. Esto es lo que vas a aprender. It's exactly what we need. Es exactamente lo que necesitamos. I don't know what he's thinking. No sé lo que está pensando. What does it mean? ¿Qué significa? Sometimes what you want simply isn't possible. A veces lo que quieres simplemente no es posible. It's not what you do, it's what you don't do. No es lo que haces, es lo que no haces. Do you know what color it is? ¿Sabes de qué color es? I can tell you what they found tomorrow. Puedo decirte lo que encontraron mañana. What do you do here? ¿Qué haces aquí? Is this what you do every day? ¿Es esto lo que haces todos los días? No one knows what happened. Nadie sabe lo que pasó. What happened? ¿Qué pasó? He knows what he must do. Sabe lo que tiene que hacer. I know what to say. Sé qué decir. I know what I want to say. Sé lo que quiero decir. What you bought isn't correct. Lo que compraste no es correcto. What were you going to do? ¿Qué ibas a hacer? What you said to him was correct. Lo que le dijiste fue correcto. Did you do everything they wanted? ¿Hiciste todo lo que querían? He's going to tell you what to buy. Va a decirte qué comprar. We can start with what we already have. Podemos empezar con lo que ya tenemos.